How do you think you managed to last so long as an actress and as a character?
Just by being a superb person in general.
In both ways.
By being a good person and being really good looking, I think.
That does help, doesn't it?
I think because I helped Jack so much.
He needed you. There's nobody else that could do what you did.
I couldn't die.
You couldn't die.
I couldn't die.
It's especially impressive. Is it true that you were only hired for 4 episodes originally? That's such a Hollywood story, isn't it?
Yes, isn't that a good Hollywood story?
It really is.
I thought I was going to be fired at the beginning, and they didn't fire me. And I was also really annoying and rude, and people thought that about me.
What, on camera or behind the scenes?
How dare you? Both.
Oh, yeah.
Both.
Jack Bauer's on line 3.
You need to pay attention to this.
You come from a background of stand-up and comedy and sitcoms, and how did you find, was it much of a transition to go from that kind of performing to suddenly being in a kind of life or death, the world's coming to an end kind of drama?
Yeah, as far as my acting, my approach was the same as with comedy, but in terms of fitting on a show like that, it was an interesting transition. For sure. My first day was kind of scary because I forgot my dialogue because it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, how do you handle all that technical stuff? I mean, are you at all technical?
No, and I don't like to study or really rehearse ever. And so when I started on 24, I realized I'm going to have to study this because it makes no sense to me and doesn't stick in my brain at all.
Innocent lives are at stake. This is over!
So do you have a lot of IT fans, or do they say, you know, you shouldn't have said that because this doesn't work or that doesn't work, or you said that this thing links up here, and do people kind of nitpick, or do they just love your character?
Say stuff like that to me and I just kind of go blank and I don't really understand what's coming out of their mouth, and then they get very disappointed in me because I'm not technical at all, and then they write me off, and it's really a sad story when I'm allowed to speak as a person. It's a great disappointment.
So how about the other side of Chloe, the kind of take no prisoners, kind of slightly lacking in social skills, kind of says exactly what's on her mind, which is, I think, something that the fans really enjoy about the show, because everybody's, apart from them trying to kill each other, quite polite, and right. I'd be kind of afraid to work with Chloe.
Yeah, I like that about my character. That was one of the things that people didn't like about me at first, and then once they realized that I was on Jack's side, I think they really got into the fact that I was blunt and said things, and I wish I was more like that in real life. I think I'm a little too polite in real life.
Go! We're under attack.
We are code red.
This is going down now.
He's certainly given you a hard time over the years. You know, he's your best friend and you love him, but he doesn't make your life easy. I was just wondering, who's a tougher boss, Jack Bauer or Larry Sanders?
Oh, look at you pulling out the Larry Sanders.
Well, I'm a big fan of Larry Sanders. I love that show. It's so funny.
It's a pretty amazing show. I've got to go back and watch it. Larry Sanders, you know, I could hide a little bit more and I think get away with a lot more spacing out. Although I did get into a lot of trouble on that show as well. Jack, definitely tougher boss.
What are you doing here?
I have information. There's a big hit going down.
I don't work for the government anymore.
Of course, in the last season, you got to be the boss. You got to be in charge. Did you enjoy kind of walking around, lording it around?
Yeah.
Being
Well, how come when I get to be boss, that's like the last season? There should be a couple more seasons of Chloe being boss.
It's not fair. Well, presumably...
it's like finally I get to take over, and then they just pull the plug.
And Jack still gives you a hard time.
Yeah.
Is it difficult maintaining the relationship in the show when, you know, he's being as defiant as he usually is, and here you are being the boss, and yet you still be on his side? Yeah,
that was the biggest conflict, but that was what was really interesting about it, and I was looking forward to that transition. You know, it was a very odd one of now I had to come up against him and maybe make some... That was fun, though, because I got to trick him and then try to catch him and make him stop what he was doing.